Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Cindy Daycheck with Queen Bee Creations and we are experimenting today. So what I have done is I've gone out into the back lot, which is not nice, so not huge choice, and I've picked pairs of leaves and I need glasses. And I've made sure that they've got a stem attached so that I could hold them with a little tiny clothespin. I kept thinking in my head paperclip. Now I do have a little drying rack of sorts here, maybe over here, because I've still got my pears. So I'm trying to line up my pears of these so that I have two of everything, because we're going to try making, this one just does not want to grab. We're going to try making leaf earrings. So if, just, you know, sometimes I'm in here in the shop by myself and it's maybe a dangerous thing because my brain starts going and you just never know. Just never know what idea pops into my mind at what time. So I don't know how many of these I am going to need, but I have some leaves that are a little bit stiffer, some that are a little bit softer. I have some that quite honestly, they're already starting to, I have some resin here and I don't want to put my elbow into it. I have some that are already starting to wilt, so I'm not sure how that will go. So we're just, because we're experimenting, I thought I'd better get a little bit of a variety in case there were some that worked better than others. I'm going, I still have two clothespins. Let me do two more. And these are a much smaller size than some I've got. And then we'll go from there. I've mixed up some 2-part epoxy resin. And the idea that I have is that I can maybe put these drying so that the leaf dangles over the side, which means I definitely want to have them dangling over my paper so that as it drips. But what I was wondering, what I was thinking is, how cool would it be if I could encase the leaf in the resin? And I just want to make sure it's all fully coated. Let it kind of do a bit of dripping, because I don't want those big drips hanging off it. And then leave them to dry. So it can continue to drip down onto my paper below it. That's okay, because I'm just going to throw that out. Or put down plastic wrap that it can drip down onto. I won't know until I come back and look at these whether or not it works or not. So I went for some that are different sizes and shapes. Okay, I really don't want you to fold in on yourself. And what I looked for were, I mean, you want your leaves to be pretty darn perfect, right? You want them to not have holes in them. You want them to be a good leaf representation, because this isn't filling in gaps at all. It's gonna highlight any of those mistakes. So, you know, there's a couple that had ants climbing on them. I made sure I got rid of the ants. I didn't need those poor little guys to get encased in anything. So I'm trying to do a couple of different kinds of leaves just to see. These ones are quite stiff, so I'm thinking they might work quite well. You could try this with flower petals. They're going to be pretty delicate little guys, but you could try that and see. Now this 2-part epoxy is a dry overnight kind, which is fine because I'm not moving very fast, so I think the fast dry kind would be a little too quick for me. And like all 2 parts, you do equal parts of the A and B liquid and mix them well. And I just did that off camera because if you follow my channel or see anybody else using resin, you've seen that a bunch. But if not, you're just stirring well. And once it's fully mixed, you can begin the dripping part. Now, I can see that there are little balled up drips. What I will do is check back periodically to ensure that any of those little balls that are hanging off the end of my leaves have fully dripped off before I go home for the night. Otherwise, well, you know what? It would be a cool look, but then I would want both earrings to have it so that it looks like it's part of the design, almost like a little dewdrop hanging off the end of the leaf. So I wouldn't mind as long as both of them did it. The only thing that I tried to do was kind of match up leaves from the same plant that were similar in shape and width and kind of overall look, just so that when making them into an earring, they definitely look like there are pairs. Like they go together. You don't want to have one that's honkingly huge and one that's an off size. Now, obviously I'm going to have way more resin than I needed, which I was okay with. I just wanted to have enough to be able to dip them fully in. And 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there it is. I was missing a leaf and I thought, how could I be missing a leaf? I paired everything up. I just moved it. So the excess resin, I will just pour into a mold. So there's never wastage. Don't ever, say, oh, I mixed up too much and then just throw it out. All that you're gonna do is go look in any of your molds and see some that you anticipate using again. For me, a lot of times that's the Christmas elements or some of the florals. And I just cast some of those and I keep them off to the side, ready for a future project. And then there's no wastage. I just keep a box full of all my little extra resin castings. So I'm just gonna finish dipping these guys, setting them up to drip off the side, and then, oh, lost a leaf. And then we'll come back. Well, actually tomorrow's my day off, so we'll come back and they should be dry and we'll see how that goes. Our leaves have had overnight to dry and some of them curled up on themselves. So they're useless. Those aren't any good. But some of them stayed nice and flat. Now, if you think that too much of your resin has dripped off of this and you would like it to be coated better, you could now re-dip them and let them dry again so that you could have them be a little bit sturdier if you choose. Because the thinner the coat, the more fragile the earring. Obviously, I don't do anything particularly wild and crazy with mine, so I think I'm okay. But I just want to let you know that it's always a choice. So I'm going to get these all off of the clothespins, line them up, see what I've got, and then I'll pull you in overhead for us to, for me to show you how to finish them off. The first thing that we need to do is take our leaves. I want to trim off that stem. That was perfect for hanging them, but I don't need to have that anymore. And I need to have a hole in it. So I just have a little hole punch. You could use maybe a darning needle. You need the hole to be big enough that the wire for your jump ring or whatever you're choosing to hang it from is going to work. Now I'm punching from the back to the front only because they kind of curve that way and I don't want to bend them or crack them out of shape. But you can see that they're really kind of which way is which. Kind of easy to be able to punch through. All right, once you have the holes, so these guys have holes, so let's go with them. I have little jump rings. Now, jump rings have a split in them somewhere. Yep, it says jump ring on it. Okay, perfect. And you want to look for where that is, and I'm having a hard time seeing it. There we go. Now, what we don't want to do is to squeeze it open this way. We want to open it by just twisting to the side. If we pull it left and right, then we're going to stretch the ring out of alignment, and it's going to be very difficult to be able to get it closed, get a nice uniform close on it. And this is all that we need to slip our bead or our, in this case, our leaf onto the jump ring. Whoops, my jump ring is jumping all over. And then take our earring and I'm going to slip that in. If I was adding any other dangles, any other beads or anything, this is when I would add them. And then I just take that jump ring and twist it closed again. And we have our lovely leaf dangle. So I need to do one more in that style for sure. And it's really no more complicated than that. I mean, my toughest part was finding where the split was on the ring. So just twist it open slightly, slip it through the hole you created, slip it through the loop on your earring, and then twist it closed. There we go. And there's our first little leaf earring pair. Okay, those are cute. Now I happen to have one earring that has sterling silver dangles on it already. I'm gonna pop some holes in here and see how that goes on that one. For these ones, what I did was I took 3 different sizes so you can see that they vary from large, medium to small. And what you want to do for these is put your large one on first, then take your medium-sized one, put it on next, and instead of hanging this from the loop on the bottom of your ear wire, hang it from that jump ring of the big one. And then for this small one, we are going to hang it from the jump ring of the medium-sized one. And then we get little cascading leaves. brought you in fairly close on this one just so that you can see a little bit more clearly our finished project. So we have just these little lightweight leaves, and these ones have like the little silver dangles in front. This was part of the earring itself. And then we did a couple of little cascading ones so that we've got, you know, a little grouping of leaves. Now I will say this, they are still very delicate. This is not with the one dip in the resin, they are still crushable. So for instance, here's one that I didn't turn into. It's a little pliable, it's a little bendy, but it is damageable. And when I bend it, you can see the resin lift from the leaf, which now I'm just looking at pulling that leaf off, because now I have another thought. This makes awesome little fairy wings. Look, got the imprint of the leaf. If I only coated the one side, that could be like a little bee leaf. Okay, well, now I'm digressing. I'm going in a whole different direction now, but that's sometimes how you get the new ideas. So if you're looking at doing this, I would definitely recommend double dipping. So, you know, dip them, leave them overnight, dip them again. You may find that the hole punch doesn't punch through to be able to get the hole in it. You may have to take a small drill, but I think that would actually be sturdier where the rings are, so that you have a little bit more longevity to your earrings. They're super cute though. The difference is though that you needed a pretty sturdy little leaf. So one that didn't kind of wilt as it was drying, that it had a little bit more substance to it so that it could hold its own. This one particular leaf seemed to do better. So I would double dip, start with sturdy leaves only, and kind of take it from there. But you know what? If you're looking for cool little wings for projects, doing just the resin cast on the back of that, you got all the veins in it. It's pretty cool. I'm kind of digging that too. Okay, bonus craft in a craft. All right, kind of a little different, a little bit out there, and you know, but it was kind of fun. I would definitely do it again with better leaves, and I would double dip. I would let them, you know, they were probably firm enough before I left that I could have done it, but leave them overnight and then dip them again, and they're going to be really sturdy. The fun thing about this though, and one of the things that I was thinking about last night, is that you could take a head pin, and a head pin is just a pin, almost like a regular pin. It's just got the straight wire with a flat bottom. And you could put Cheerios on there, or Fruit Loops, or, you know, virtually anything that you would like. Kind of push that carefully through, little baby acorn, cover it in resin, let them hang to dry, and then make earrings out of that. So it did get my brain working through the leaf idea. I think that there's a lot of possibilities here. Let me know what you think and what your thoughts are. Love to hear from you as always. And until next time, take care.